Welcome to the channel, everyone. Today we're going to be working on the 2009 Silverado 2500 HD. I'm going to be installing some bump stops, some heavy duty bump stops, getting ready for the snow to start flying. So I got to do a few things to the truck, and the bump stops, the front bump stops, is something that I feel is a must if you're running a heavy plow. It really helps out these Chevy trucks. I have gone with I've used the Timbrins, I've used the SumoSprings, I've even used the Chevy factory Z71 bump stops, and they all seem to help. You know, is one better than the other? The Timbrins are like $100 more than the Super Springs or the SumoSprings. And then, yeah, the Z71 bump stops. I did that on one truck. I can't remember which truck it was, but it seemed to work out okay. But I think your best bet is either Timbrins or the Super Springs or SumoSprings. I'll show you what I picked up. Okay, so here's what I went with. They call them SumoSprings or Super Springs. They kind of word it, you know, they say it both ways for some reason. I don't know what that is, but here is one of them right here. And it's just a big kind of oversized bump stop. It mounts the same way that the factory one does. Here's a factory. And I believe this is a Z71 bump stop because my truck is a Z71. The yellow bump stops, I believe, are Z71 bump stops. I think they're a little bigger than the normal bump stop on the other trucks without the Z71 package. But anyway, you can see the difference. I mean, there is quite a difference in these bump stops here. This one has way more mass to it, and it's about 3/4 of an inch longer than the Z71 bump stop, and probably even more than the standard bump stops that they put on the trucks. But this is it, guys. I mean, it's an easy bolt on. There's one bolt holding these on. You're gonna find on the older Chevy trucks, your bump stops might be destroyed or even gone. But yeah, this truck only has like 65,000 miles, so it has the whole bump stop. So anyway, I guess let's get to installing these. Okay guys, so first thing you're going to do is jack the truck up. You need full droop on the suspension. And don't be an idiot. Use a jack stand, stay safe. Okay, so you're not going to need a ton of tools for this job. Got my impact. I am using these special snap-on swivel sockets, and they're metric. You need a 15 millimeter for the factory bump stop and a 17 millimeter for the new Sumo spring bump stop. And then I used a pry bar and a hammer to get the bump stop up in there. They say in the directions to unbolt the shock so the suspension can completely drop down. So just be aware of that. I'm doing it without doing that, but you may have to do it on your application. But I'll show you the bump stop under the truck. Okay, so there's a look at the factory bump stop sitting. The suspension is at full droop right now. This is not, you know, all the way down sitting on the ground, so that's why there's room. These Chevy trucks pretty much sit on that bump stop when they're on the ground. So yeah, I'm going to get this out. There's one bolt, or one nut, I guess you should say, holding it on. I'm going to use my special swivel sockets. I can go from the top side and use my little impact. Makes it so much easier to get these out. Simple as that to get them out, guys. Okay, so I got the old one out. Really easy. I'm gonna go under there and I'm gonna squeeze this thing, hopefully like I did the other side. I'm gonna use the pry bar and the hammer there and get this thing up in place. Well, this side was quite a bit easier. Didn't really have to struggle at all for this side, except for getting my bolt on. Okay, so I'm going to finish her off with my impact. Tighten her down. And there she be. That's pretty much it, guys. This side went a lot easier. I didn't have to really squeeze it in, as you saw in the video. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, so here's a look at them with the truck completely on the ground. You can see it's pretty much resting on that bump stop. But I don't have to test drive these or test them out, guys. I've used these in the past, and like I said, big help when you're running the big heavy plows. So I highly recommend these, guys. If you wanna spend more money, you can get the Timberins, but these SumoSprings have worked for me in the past. As always, guys, I will have links to the stuff I used and some things that I think might be helpful with a project like this. in the description and the comment section below. So that's going to do it for this one, guys. It's not a very difficult, long job to put these bump stops in. The only exception to that would be if your bump stop is old and destroyed, which I've seen a lot of those on these Chevy trucks. Then you got to kind of go in there with like a vice grip and try to hold what's left of the bump stop while you try to impact or break the nut on the top side. So that's really the only reason this job would be difficult. But anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed the video. I'm going to enjoy these bump stops when I get my big heavy plow on. I've got a wiring harness coming for this, so that video should be up at some point soon here, and then we'll get the plow on this thing, and we got to do some plow maintenance, change the oil on that. So all those videos will be coming up here soon. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys.